What's up guys, my name is Andy. What I've got here is the 289 engine that was in my 66 Fastback when I purchased it. And some of you may or may not recognize it. It had been through several of the earlier videos I had done on that car, and I had upgraded a lot of parts, replaced some parts, and it served me well, but the engine, it was tired. It was worn out, and it would smoke a little bit when I'm driving. And towards the end, before I pulled this for the final time, you know, the oil pressure was sitting around 25 pounds when it first started up, and that's not, you know, and then it would get down to like 6 to 9 pounds when I'm driving around when everything's warmed up. So that's kind of another giveaway that the bearings are done. And so I pulled this engine out, and I ended up putting in a 347 stroker, which some of you guys remember those videos, and that engine has been fantastic, and I'm very happy with it. However, what I always wanted to do was go through and take a look at this engine and see, you know, how bad was it? Some of you may recall that I had done a video quite a while back where I had to replace the rear main seal. That was one of the earlier videos I'd done on this particular engine. And when I took it apart, I had that old two-piece rope seal that was in there, and that was kind of a pain to get that out. And but when I had that out, I had that main bearing cap off the bottom and here, and you could see how bad those bearings were worn. And I got a lot of heat from you guys about the motor just needs to be rebuilt. Don't even put it back together. And I wasn't in a position that time to do that. I needed to keep the engine, you know, on life support while I got some other stuff done. And then when I pulled this engine, I set it aside and I did that other one. And in fact, actually this 289, my original plan was to take this engine and take it to my engine shop and have them convert it to a hydraulic roller, and then we were going to machine it so that it'll do the one-piece rear main seal that is common on the late 70s, 302 and newer. Was going to do that. Ended up being, and I explained that in that 347 stroker video, that I had just purchased a roller, 302 roller from my engine shop. It was cheaper to do that than to do all the machine work to this block to get it prepped. So I just did that. So I still have this engine because of that. And it's been sitting on the side. In fact, it's been sitting outside. There's some rust on here. It's not ideal, but I didn't have a place in the garage. So I had it wrapped up outside, but it was outside. Anyways, I want to get it apart, and I thought this would be just kind of fun just to take a look. Let's flip it over and take those main caps off and take a look at those bearings and see how bad it really was. I'd even like to take the heads off here, and let's take a look down inside the cylinders and see if there's any scoring or anything going on inside there, and we can get a look of, you know, how tired was this engine before I pulled it. Was I on death's door with this thing, or would it have been fine for another, you know, 10,000 miles? So let's take it apart. Let's get it on the engine stand and start taking it apart. All right, now that we got that on the engine stand, it just occurred to me, I don't remember if I ever drained the oil out of this thing. So let's do that real quick before I flip it over and put oil everywhere. Well, looks like there's some in there. We'll let that drain out. All right, that's probably enough. It looks like a little bit of residual oil in there, and all we really did is just keep it from creating a mess when we take this pan off, I guess. All right, let's roll this turd over. I don't know how much is going to spill out of this thing. Guys, this is my first time doing something like this. Whoa. And I guess the ever problem of never having all the coolant out is plaguing me again. I continue to struggle with this. Now we can go after the bolts on the oil pan. What I've got here, there's a couple of 1/2-inch bolts here on the two ends, and then these are all 3/8 heads. These are a little bit smaller bolt than normal. I think they're normally 7/16. But we'll get these guys out of here and get this pan off. All right, I think we can just pry up here on the corner. Yeah, because I don't have any RTV or anything holding down this, you know, between the gasket or anything, it's just sitting on this one-piece oil pan gasket from Felpro. Oh, that's right, I do have RTV in the corners though. That's holding that up. All right, guys, let's take a look down inside here. There's really not much to see from this angle, right? Everything's all bolted up and sealed up, so you can't see the bearings. I'm not seeing anything that's chipped or broken. I did have on my first Mustang, I had a piece of the skirt that had broken off. I found that in the bottom of the oil pan. That was a long time ago. That wasn't this engine, but so looking for stuff like that. Nothing seems to be broken or anything, so everything looks good so far. Let's go ahead and start taking. Let's see. This is the rear main cap. This is the one that, you know, often you have to take off when you're doing that rear main seal. Let's get that off there and we'll take a look at that bearing. And this is what you guys saw before if you ever watched that video when I did that rear main seal. Now again, guys, I can do this because this motor needs to be rebuilt. So taking things apart, it's not going to hurt anything because I'm not putting it back together to put it back in the car. This thing will have to get rebuilt before it goes back in anybody's car. Okay, so here it is. Look at all that copper. Okay. Now, when I had done this seal, again, quite a while ago, this is exactly what it looked like, and this is not what you want to see. There's some heavy grooves in here. I can get my fingernail on those, and there's just a little bit of silver left, which, yeah, this is a good indicator that it's time to do the bearings. The motor is not shot at this point, but it's on its way out, right? If you continue to run this, you could run the risk of getting too much space in between the bearings and the crank, and then you lost oil pressure, and then you can start, you know, ruining your bearings even worse, and things just go south from there. So this is what we've seen before. Looks familiar. The crank itself is smooth. There's no ridges or anything there, so that's a good sign, right? But definitely this is done. Let's do another bearing cap and see how that looks. Now, I don't know if doing the next one in line makes a difference, or if just skipping a couple and checking this out, but we'll just look at this one here in the middle and see what we got. Now, you guys are probably laughing, going, Andy, you're doing it wrong. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's another one. Man, there is a big, you can catch your fingernail on that ridge in there. Those are very coppery. Yeah, this is fine, as much as I can tell anyway. But that one's toast, that one's gone. And they're all gonna look like this, right? If that one in the back is as bad as it is, it's gonna be an indicator that all these need to be redone. And we should do the pistons as well, but this engine's gonna get rebuilt, so it doesn't matter. But that's a good way to know that it's time for new bearings. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the oil pan back on. Obviously things need to be resealed, but this way I don't lose any parts. We'll put all the bolts back in, secure this to the engine. All right, let's flip her back over and let's see, this way. I don't know if it matters. And we can go after the head here. Let's see if we put it like that. Well, I guess it doesn't matter that it's not sticking up. We can do that. Cool. So let's take off a head and see what it looks like inside there. Now, again, I don't know the correct procedure. If you're supposed to take these off and take the push rods out, or if we can just take the bolts out of the head and lift it up. Again, because I'm gonna have it rebuilt, probably doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and undo those, then we can get them out of there. man. See, this is a good idea just to get these things cleaned up, but I guess they're not hurting anything. So now I've got the 10 bolts that are holding these heads on, so let's get after them. Now that we got all those out, it should be just easy to, yeah, break it free. There we go. Just kind of pop it loose there. Yeah. There we go. Whoa, yeah, that's coming off. All right. Okay, let's take a look in there. All right, guys, so what do you see? I see some buildup on the top of the pistons there, and there's some kind of something going on down there at the bottom on that. That one looks a lot better, or that one, this one, what is this, cylinder number 8 back here in the corner. So there's 7. Here's 6 and 5. And I don't see any major scoring or anything in the cylinder wall. I mean, gosh, guys, these look pretty good. There's a chance that this could have been rebuilt at one point. And you probably know a lot better than I do looking at this stuff, and maybe the age of the head gasket there, maybe it looks newer. But except for that one's going on down there at the bottom, I don't know what else that is, but this doesn't look too bad, guys. I wasn't having, oil and water mixture problem, so, there was no oil or no head gasket failure, but the car was smoking pretty good, and those bearings are definitely done, but let me get the other side off real quick and we'll take a look at that side. All right, guys, here's the other side, and this is cylinder number 4. This is in the back. That lip looks chewed up down there in the bottom. It's kind of hard to see that on the edge of that piston. But the cylinder walls look good. And then going on to 3, there's a little bit of gunk down there, but that could have fell off when I was removing the head. Same thing here. These don't look too bad. There's a lot of buildup on the top of the pistons, which I'm sure is normal. You guys probably know more about that. Now this thing right here, I have no idea what this is. Oh, where'd that go? That went down here. Almost look like bug parts. So this was sitting outside for a while. I wonder if a bug crawled in here and decided to make a nest right here on the piston. Anyways, so one thing I did notice, so look at this head gasket. Does this look different to you guys than this? I see all that orange stuff. Is that maybe on one side, and then on this one it's on the other side of this and I just can't see it? So I don't know if maybe somebody had gotten in over there before, or if they're just, this is just how they are. I don't know enough about that stuff. But again, same thing, there's a ridge there and there. It's probably normal. You guys know more about that. But this looks too good. This looks pretty good. So let's look at I forgot to show the bottom of the heads. And again, they look fine. There's just a lot of buildup in there, but I guess that's normal after all the years of use. And same thing on this side. There's a lot of buildup over there, but the good thing is these look pretty good, right? Nothing looks cracked or damaged or missing or broken or any of that kind of stuff. So this would make it, easy rebuild. Now, assuming that the block isn't cracked or any of that kind of stuff, we can figure that stuff out later. But yeah, that is the teardown of my 289, just to kind of get an idea of what the health of this thing was before we pulled it from the car. So guys, that was just a fun video just to take a look at the old engine in my car that I had. I was curious to see how the life of this thing was and if it was as bad as maybe I thought it was, considering how this thing smoked and how there was just, not a lot of power. I didn't know if something was bad in here, but looking at it from my inexperience, nothing looks terribly out of place. However, there's a lot of you guys out there that know exactly what you're looking at, and you could say, hey, Andy, go look at this thing on there because this will tell you if this is bad or whatever. If you guys see something wrong, let me know that, so when I get this thing taken care of and take it to the engine shop, we can address, any issues that you guys maybe had seen. So speaking of that, what are we gonna do with this engine? That is a great question. Like I had mentioned earlier, I had planned on turning this into that 347 that I have in my car, but I didn't need to, so now I've got this extra block and I want to do something with it. I don't know if I should just go back to just put it back into a stock 289, for some other build. I did a 347. There's also, popular as a 331, and then I think you can punch these out to a 363. And you're kind of at the limits of the block. Somebody might be able to go a little farther, but I'm not looking for a block to get 1,000 miles on it and then rebuild the whole thing. And probably a 363 is probably too much. So what do you do with these? I don't know. So that's where maybe you guys could put down in the comments what you think we should do with this engine, in terms of, do we just put it back to stock? We just make it a 289 again, or do we go through and make it a hydraulic, cam setup and then do that one piece remain seal, at least just upgrade that, but leave it as a 289 or what? I don't know yet. And I'm hoping maybe you guys can give me a couple ideas where we can go with this engine. So, all right guys, that takes care of that. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out, and we'll see you in the next one.